it is very difficult not to confuse how smart you are with the results that you are getting. Because recently, for Kenny, the guy that I've been working with, the results have been 10 times better than what I told them. And I told them way better than what I thought I could actually do. So everything is working so great right now. This is when you need to control your ego. This is what I'm really learning from someone like Ken, because he was the example that he used. He said, well, you have rent appreciation, you have house appreciation, you have ego appreciation. And he said, please, Josh, don't confuse brains with a bull market. And right now I'm having a bull market with what I'm doing. It's just working so well. It's working so well. So because everything is going great, this is when I'm the most cognizant of checking my ego and double, triple, quadruple checking to make sure everything's as good as it can possibly be and not getting complacent. And I'll mix and match two different people right now. One, I am doing every single psychological trick, making sure every single thing is perfect. For someone that I work with, where by far the highest paying client that I have. Then I have Ken, who I am still doing that stuff, but not to the same degree because it's not necessary right now because he's not selling anything. We're just working on growth. And this person, my other client, the results right now are pretty lackluster, even though I think I am doing better work. Where with Ken, because everything is new, because it's all great, because of the particular circumstances that we are in, it is doing so, so, so amazing. Just to the point where yesterday he said, Josh, I'm going to have to buy you a house out here just so you can come back every year and hang out because of how great this is working. And he's introducing me to every single one of his friends. All of them are saying, dude, what the hell is going on? Where can I learn this? So I'm having meetings with all of his buddies who are all making tens of millions of dollars per year. So that is very lucky from that standpoint. But that doesn't mean it's all 100% skill. A lot of it's luck. And the same thing is true where with this person, where the results are actually starting to dwindle a little bit, that doesn't mean what you're doing is bad. You could actually be doing something good. You could be going through the motions correctly and not getting the proper result. We're having something pretty large come up soon where we are really focused on trying to convert as many sales as possible. I know it's not George. That's the automatic thing. This is someone completely different. And we're having a really tough time getting people there. So it's a very interesting dynamic where you have two different people doing the exact same thing, but the results can be drastically different. And I'm actually doing more for the person who's not Ken, just because we have a large sales process coming up, which should convert to a ton of numbers, but we're having a hard time getting people there, even though we're doing every single trick in the book correctly, might I add. So that's just an interesting idea where you can be doing something right. And one, the results can be better than you deserve, and the other is the results can be worse than you deserve. So that's just staying in the game and keep hitting these first base pitches. Where I was honestly hoping that we could do 6 figures in one day, but that looks very unlikely now because I've learned a lot of new sales sequences that could really convert to more customers. But we needed more people at this event, so I don't think it's going to happen. But I still think we can do probably $50,000 in a day. I hope. I will definitely keep you guys updated on that. I don't want to talk about it too much because I try and give away everything, but some things you just simply can't talk about. So I can't talk about this too much, so I try and stay away from it. What's amazing is how quickly you can learn something and make it your own. If you were looking earlier, I was saying that I had an event that was failing. I said I was doing everything I should be doing, but it wasn't working. No, I was a freaking idiot. The thick skull in between my head was preventing my brain from working. And I now understand what I was doing wrong. And since that moment, when I made that video to now, we have had almost like a 200% increase in results. Why? Target audience. What I was having this person do before is they were just talking about the event coming up, just briefly in a broad sense. But what I did today is I wrote out and scripted a complete sales letter targeting a specific audience. If you want to sell something to someone, you have to call out your ideal avatar. If you can't do that, if you can't tell your ideal avatar their problems and then show them that you have the solution, you are not going to get a high converting sales funnel. All you will do is get the diehard fans. And that's what we had. We had a slow group. And I know this is a same problem that so many other people have because you think, oh, I have a product. Why don't people buy it? Especially if you have a large audience. And this is kind of most of the people that I work with, they have a large audience and usually have a business on the back end. They think just because people see their business, because they're showcasing it to the world, people are going to buy their product. But that's not the case. What you need to do is you need to specifically call out your ideal target audience. The more specific, the better. If you know your avatar better than the person on the other side of the screen even knows themselves, then you can show them that they understand their problem to a higher possible degree. And if you can do that, they are also going to assume that you have the solution. And that was the key problem. So today, all we changed was the target. We just went from broad stroking using a lot of human psychology to just targeting the people that we wanted to target. I think the biggest mistake that people make, myself, I was making this all this past month is we were trying to capture everybody. Let's say there's 1 million people who watch this person a month. We were trying to capture every single one of them, when in reality, we should only be trying to capture 1% of them, but you should be targeting that 1%. And what's interesting, because if you have a bunch of time in between these events or whatever, or your product, your launches, whatever you're really doing, then you can target different groups of people at different times. You can target the ethos, logos, pathos. This is exactly what I was talking about from the simple to complex sales sequence video that I made. But I was just too fucking dumb. I was doing it for email, but not for video. So now that I understand that, we are off to the races. And what's crazy is I've been so down all day because I've been fucking pissed at myself. I just thought about this right now. So I'm going to give myself a little golf clap for that one. I don't think people know how crucial this is. And I keep on repeating myself, not just for you guys, but so I concrete it down into my thick old freaking brain, that when you have a large audience or when you are trying to sell a product, most people will never buy. So you shouldn't be focusing your time on them. You shouldn't be selling to everybody. That is a massive mistake that people make. You try and, let's say you're standing out, giving a presentation to 1,000 people and you give a sales pitch at the end. You should not try and close 1,000 people. You should try and close the 100 people who are possibly going to buy from you, and you target them specifically. There are going to be 50 people who buy from you no matter what because they come to really like you, but your job is to target the 100 who could potentially buy. That's how you're going to get the highest ROI. That is for pretty much everything. Whether you have a lead magnet, whether you are so that same psychology and concept works if you have a lead magnet. And this works for everything. With Ken, because he's the only person that I can really talk about what exactly I'm doing, one of the big metrics that we're looking at to get people to binge watch his channel is something called an end screen click-through, which means once you watch one of his videos, at the end of it, he's going to pitch a separate video. And one video in particular has a 15% end screen click-through rate, which is incredible. I'm talking a very high level right now, but just stick with me for 1 second. And so that one video that we didn't just pitch a video for someone to watch. What we did is we targeted a specific audience who would like that video, and we called out that audience to watch that specific video. So that is an example of you having a very specific target, very specific outcome, and getting a higher percentage. If we just said, hey, I have a video here, check it out, you may be appealing to the masses because the most amount of people could potentially watch the next video, but people are not going to go over the edge and actually do it unless there's a specific call out to them. That is what I've been missing. I want to smack myself for it, but I guarantee you now, we are going to do a 6-figure day in a few weeks when we close this deal. I'll keep you guys updated. I really wish I could talk about the other person that I'm working with to do this with, but I just can't. Anyway, goodbye.